Hello my scrappy friends, it is Melinda Sweetman here with you today. Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad to have you here with me. I am sharing these spread in my Traveler's Notebook from last year for Tracy Reed Designs, and I'm using the Weekender collection. And today's video I'm sharing my tips and tricks for jumping back into a project many months after you started it and forgot about it. Not necessarily forgot about it, but life happened, got put to the side, and you're just coming back to it now. So I'm just flipping through here and showing you what I have created already. I will make sure that I link to the videos up in the corner or down below or both or something. To the 3 videos I think I've done already. I'm working on this double pager today, and you can see there I've got my little, for lack of a better word, my dummy pages that I threw together when I worked out what photos I wanted to use. This was a single day trip that we took last year in April, I think, and I took a ton of photos, and there were quite a few stories that I wanted to tell. So the first thing I did was I worked out which stories I wanted to tell, and then I paired said stories with photos from the day. Then I worked out how I wanted to print them, so like what size, if I wanted to make any extra big or any small or any to go into a pocket. Then I printed all of my photos, and then I throughout that whole process, I grabbed some scrap paper. This is all stuff that was going to go in the bin, and you can see that bottom corner of it there. I have just kind of sketched out what story I'm going to tell where and which photos I'm going to use. I have also, since I worked on this last, I put all my photos into the right order, and I've got all of the photos that are going into pockets in the album. So once I picked this tray up with all of my goodies in it, it was pretty easy for me to jump back in and continue on from exactly where I left off without having to rethink the whole process again or go, what was the story I was telling here, or anything like that. Having those things already done for me just made the process super easy. I'm not sure if you noticed as well, that stripe pattern paper I had in between the two background papers there with the clouds on it, and I'd actually scribbled on the back in pencil, tear strips for the sides of the blue cloud paper, left-hand page, left-hand strip, right-hand page, right-hand strip. And that's exactly what I've done. I'm not sure if you noticed as well, the right-hand page is a regular Traveler's Notebook size width, but I wanted this particular page out of the page protector, so I've just stuck that strip so that it hangs over the edge, and I've got my full 5-inch width for outside of the page protector in my Traveler's Notebook album. I've got a basic idea of where things are going, thank you to my dummy sketch that I had created. So I've got 2 photos on the left-hand page, 1 on the right-hand side, and once I got those pieces with those strips in the background, I was kind of going, okay, what am I going to do from here? I had the idea of going with circles. You can see I've pulled all the circle embellishments out there. I got that idea from that circular journaling card. It was actually a 3x4 card, and I cut the circle out of the middle. And so I'm running with that idea for a minute. Spoiler alert, it doesn't stay, but that's okay. So I managed to get these 2 circles on. I really liked the way that was looking. I like the camera on top. That camera and those spiral things, I can't remember what they're called, the concertina things, they're actually printed. They're pieces from the digital embellishment kit that I printed and cut. But I really liked the green on that side and the yellow. So that is how I ended up with that little cluster there. And you can see I'm trying to get this circular idea to work, and I'm struggling. I decided that I would rather use that circular piece with the grid on it for some journaling at some point. because I can definitely use that somewhere. And I wasn't sure where I would use the phrase on this one, so I just went, you know what, I'll just cover it up. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to lay those pieces into the corner of my photo. No one will ever know that there are words on that. Because I'm tucking this under, I figured I could keep the other bit for another page somewhere. I do have, I think, like a total of 2 or 3 more stories that I want to include. So I'm just going to keep all the offcuts for now, and I will have them to play with on the coming pages. So I did keep the half circles with the arrows as well. That's the other circular embellishment I hung on to that I'm going to use. But I wanted something along here, so I've also printed some of the embellishment straight onto sticker paper, which is what that teal coloured strip there is. It's actually one of the ribbons from the embellishment kit, and I really like that extra pop of colour there, and just a little bit of extra interest, and it gives what looks like a different texture. My little tile alphabet, so if you remember from the first videos I did create, I've got a whole A4 sheet of tiny tile alphabet stickers, which I love, and then for some of the titles I have done the pink ones a bit bigger as little tiles, and I love them. So I've spelt out the title there, which is The Quarry, and I'm pretty happy with how that right hand page is looking, so I'm going to start working on the left hand side here. Again, because I had put in all this work to start with, and it wasn't even that much work, it's making this process really easy. I just get to stick things and play with all the pretty embellishments, and word strips and colours and patterns, and it's a super fun process from here. Now I do have that ribbon in one place, so I'm going to add it to 2 more places, and I figured I'd put it where the circles are. So I'm just going to tear that into 2 more pieces, one up the top here with the little half circle, and then one over to the other side here where the other little half circle is with the arrow. And it's kind of a visual triangle. I'm going to create 2 visual triangles on this page, and they were both intentional. I feel like, especially the pop of yellow that you will see, so I've already got one in place, I feel like that really helps to draw your eye all the way around the page. And then that ribbon sticker is a bit more subtle, but it also kind of leads your eye around the page. It's around the important things that I want you to see. I did pull in a couple of puffy alphabets from my stash that I'm using throughout my pages here, so I'm just using these with a combination of my little black tiles to spell out my title here, which is going to be Always Remember to Look Up. So this is, if you, we live a couple of hours from Collie in WA, so we drove down there on this day and had a fun day exploring. We, the mural on the dam was the thing that we really wanted to see. And then at the same place there's this, and it's called The Quarry. My youngest was super excited. As soon as he saw the first sign for it, he's like, I want to go see The Quarry. What is a quarry? Had a million questions, but needless to say, when we got here, you can see the view there on the left hand side, standing like almost next to the side of that rock wall, looking straight up, and then a bit further back, stunning views. And he was super keen. There is 2 3x4 pockets as well that are in between these 2 pages in the album. You'll see photos, you'll see me put those together at the end, but they're really simple. My youngest was super keen to climb, which was super funny. And here is my visual triangle with the yellow, so I really feel like that helps to draw the eye around the page. But then I'm going to, with each of the yellow pieces, I'm going to include some of the green as well, pulling from that green camera. So I've got the green and white arrow at the top, and then this little phrase that says, I think it says, loving this place. All right, and so then that is, I'm pretty sure, once I've got this stuck down, the majority of all my bits stuck down. I've just got to add my journaling. And watch here for a minute. You'll see my, So I don't know if you noticed there that that was coming undone, but look at that. My page is not wide enough to go on the back of this page. I do fix it. Happy to report that there was no lasting damage. I didn't tear anything. I didn't ruin anything. You can see I'm very carefully peeling up everything that is stuck to that rainbow stripe on the left hand side. I'm going to start by sticking the right hand side down in line with the page that it's backing onto. I hope that makes sense. Making sure I've got it all up the right way. And then, so I was sticking down that flap from the easel that I created on the other side, but having the extra stuff on top will also help to keep that closed and stuck. And I'm just going to stick down my rainbow stripe with the bits on it and just apply a little bit of pressure and make sure that's well stuck down. Once I know that is stuck down good enough, I'm going to peel up all the other bits here. I do need to get a little bit of help with my undo. This is the best stuff in the world. So you can see I've peeled that off. I am putting it onto my glass mat so that it's face down with the sticky side up, because once it dries, this stuff will all be sticky again and I don't need to apply any extra adhesive. Alright, so I have moved everything over. No one would ever know any different. No one would ever know that I screwed that up. I am a little bit extra careful with making sure things are stuck at this point because I have had to pull everything up and then stick it back down. Just adding in my journaling here, and then I'm just going to add some more liquid glue behind everything. I don't know if you noticed, I was kind of just taking things down for the most part. And then here I am working on these 3x4 pockets. I wanted to use this little card here, and I just told the story that I mentioned before about how my youngest was so excited as soon as he saw the porry, couldn't wait to climb it. And then I called him into my craft room, placed his little cotton socks, and I'm like, do you remember this? So this is me explaining to him, do you remember this? This is you're climbing, do you remember? You were so excited, you were so impressed with yourself. And I said, how many stars would you give it? Can you please colour them in for me? And I said to him, you don't have to do it perfect. He's like, Mum, I want to make sure that it at least looks like I tried. So that's got 4 little stars on behalf of my young man. Here are my pages in my album. So hopefully some of these tips for picking up where you left off, even though it was months ago, are helpful. If you have any of your own tips, please share them with me. I'd love to hear them. As always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your scrappy time with me. I really, truly do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please make sure you drop them below, and I will see you in my next process video. Have a fantastic scrappy day, my friends.